We have a few other guys, starting with the formerly mentioned just in that previous conversation, Tua Tagovailoa. He is our
Wow, I didn't
16th.
even know he was coming up next. That's crazy.
Do you not look at the notes, Jacob?
No, I do, but when I mentioned him talking about Zach Wilson, I didn't even know, but what a perfect segue.
What a perfect segue it is. I have him at 18. Jacob has him at 16. Consensus wise, he finds himself at 16.
Ooh, I have him at 16. That's way too high.
Okay, good to know. Well, because you
Oh
do have him
man.
higher, I will let you start. What do you love about Tua Tagovailoa going into this year?
Nothing. But look, I'm giving my buddies Gio and Joe a hard time because they worship at the altar of Tua Tagovailoa. But I
Good though, huh?
I don't know. All right, so look, there's a lot of things working in his favor, right? But I also think if he sucks this year, if he doesn't put it together this year, I think his starting job in Miami's gone. I think, and I think he's going to be relegated to a backup in the NFL. But on the flip side of that, he could absolutely ball out this year, and it's simple. They added talent. They added one of the best wide receivers in the league, in Tyreek Hill. That's simple enough, right? He still has Jalen Waddle, which we all saw what Jalen Waddle did last year. And so it's going to be a very interesting dynamic with those two wide receivers. And I don't think, while there are teams that maybe have two better ones, like maybe Chase and Higgins are better than them combined, or, take your pick on any duo you want. But this duo has got to be up there. And they're both very unique wide receivers. So I think he's going to rely on both of them a lot, and it's going to boost his numbers up. And in fantasy, that's all we care about is the numbers. So there's that. He also has some decent pass catchers past those two. And I think Mike Gesicki could have a pretty good year this year. So I like his team, and look, he has a million running backs, right? There's going to be like 3 injuries. They're still going to have like 15 running backs ready to go. So they don't have to worry about that. But almost more than the Tyreek Hill thing, and this is not my bias kicking in, is their head coach, Mike McDaniel, from offensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers. So the Kyle Shanahan tree, or I should say the Mike Shanahan tree, is everlasting in the NFL, right? And from what I've heard, that Mike McDaniel has been with Kyle Shanahan since like the Washington days, and Sean McVay was there too. And all these guys were coming up together, and these Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan kind of got they got their chance first. But this guy has been waiting to get his opportunity. And some people think that he's the real offensive genius behind Kyle Shanahan's schemes. So that's very interesting. That doesn't mean he's going to translate to a great head coach, because there's more to it than drawing up plays. There's communication skills, handling player personalities, all of that stuff, right? And, doing the press conferences. So we'll see if he can handle that. But I know he can handle the play calling. So I think the combination of adding Tyreek and having him as a head coach is setting up to a really nice year. And look, we have him at 16. All those things I mentioned, I could see Tua being a top 10 quarterback, but I just got to see it. So that's why I have him ranked kind of low.
Yeah, I like the Mike McDaniel, reference there. You always got to talk about new head coaches and what he was able to do in San Francisco, which was so exciting. It leads me to believe that they're going to do some similar things like that in Miami, which is also why they have the running backs they do. They have surrounded Tua Tagovailoa with speed, dude, like no other.
How do you even
Chase
draft
Edmonds,
one of those
Raheem
guys?
Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all guys with just tremendous speed. That offense, I think, is going to have tons of trickery. tons of trick plays. I think they're doing those things to add those players around him to relieve a little bit of pressure, which I guess any team is going to do in the NFL, right? They want to help their QB out the best they can. But it's not every day you have 4 guys that can run like sub 4 force or something like that. Like these guys are going to be burners out there on the field. Look for a lot of underneath screens to get the ball out quickly for Tua Tagovailoa. And, you know, if yards after a catch mean anything, it's going to mean a lot for Tua Tagovailoa because he's going to be looking at a lot of 5-yard dump offs, and these guys are just going to take it 30 or 40 yards. And, hey, those are good for a QB, right, when you're looking for yards. So for all those reasons and more, that's why we have Tua Tagovailoa. Even though Jacob thinks he's a little too high, even though he finds us on our rankings, it's okay. We can always move him, adjust him when we want to. But he does – that was funny when you said that. He does find himself as our consensus QB 16.